Hello. Hello, how is everyone? Okay? Just before I start, can we have a big round of applause for Paul Smith, the host of Compare? He's brilliant, isn't he? He is brilliant. I'm going to have to apologise before I start if I seem a little bit spaced out on stage. I was involved in a very serious accident quite recently and it's hurt me back quite bad. Won't go into too much detail, but basically what happened is, do you know when people say to you, it's impossible to give yourself a blowjob? It turns out to tell the truth. To be fair, no one even bet me I could do it, you know. I was just a man the other night bored watching The Lion King. And I thought, nah, fuck you, Mufasa. I'm going to make my own circle of life. It's been I can't believe we're in August already. This year has flown by, man. I started this year out with a new girlfriend. Can we get a cheer? Yeah, well, a new lady friend. I say new. You get to my age, you don't really get a new girlfriend, do you? It's like buying a used car. So it's got that new car feel, just a lot of mileage on. We were in ours one night, right, and she went to me, back in a minute, I'm just going to get changed, and she come back about 10 minutes later wearing this little, like, nurse outfit with stockings and that, and she looked at me, and she started to move, which I can only describe as Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs. She stood there looking at me like this. She says, how do I look? Now, me being me, I don't really think before I say good for comedy, shit for life. I looked at her dead in the eye and I said, like a slag. Safe to say I'm single now. I put too much pressure on myself because I'm at that age now where all my friends are getting married and having kids, and the closest I've come to being a dad was being constipated for 45 minutes. And I'm not going to lie, I did feel really proud and broody about what I had just accomplished. So let's face it, my kids definitely would stink of shit. No, but I'm at that age because I've realised I'm not like a kid anymore. I had the realisation that I'm not a young lad anymore the other day when I was on the bus home from work. I heard two girls talking behind me about giving oral sex for the first time. I thought, that's a conversation I'd like to get involved in, really. As I started to turn round, I noticed a glimpse of my reflection in the window. I am a man with a beard. A bearded man. I felt like fucking Alan from Jumanji when he comes back from the jungle. Honestly, I was depressed. I started to walk home from the bus stop and I got home to my mum's house it was, and I seen this fella called Jeff. He was a next door neighbour. He's watched me grow up, not in a weird way, he didn't groom me or anything, but he's always been there. He said, you alright, son? I was like, nah, Jeff, I'm depressed, I'm getting old. And he was like, you're not getting old. You're still a young lad, you've got your whole life ahead of you. I was like, you say that, Jeff, but then you fucking frown at me when you see me playing Kirby in the street. It's mad. So I've been doing some man shit, I've moved out and that, and I've been living with my mate, and it's quite good. You know what I mean? And we're living in like a 2-bedroom apartment, and I like it because you've got someone around you all the time and someone to talk to. The only weird thing about living with another man was the other night I heard him having a wank. It's not that weird, all men do it. Some men even call it taking a number 3. The only weird part about it was I heard him having a wank at the same time I was having a wank. So I just did what any other man would do, and I just turned up my porn to drown out the sound of his porn. But then I noticed he turned his up, so I turned mine up, and then he turned his up. It was like we were having some type of in-house game of tug of war. No, it's mad though, I am scared of getting old, like, you know what I mean? I've been drinking loads at the moment, and I got arrested for the first time the other day. I got arrested for having a piss in the grid. How bad's that? Police officer pulled over and he went, you might want to stop that, mate, because you're getting a fine. I was like, I'm getting a fine. I think I'll carry on. Yeah. He said, don't take the piss. Oh. Mr. Literal. Anyway, so he arrests me, he says to me, is this your first offence? I said, the only one I've been caught for. He didn't like that. So he said, I need your fingerprints, but I didn't hear what he said, so I said, what did you say? He said, I need an impression of your thumb, so I did this. He fucking hated that as well. He threw me in the cell, right, and he gave me this like boiler suit, and it was cold, it was damp, it had a rip in it, and I put it on, I was like, what the fuck do I look like in this? He looked at me and said, like a slag. Thank you guys, I'm John McCreadie. Hello, LD.